Hello, Lesley.
Hi there.
Hello, could you tell me something about this beautiful work behind you?
Yes, well, I brought this work this year because last year I won the student bursary from the Quilters Guild, and I decided to carry on with the theme that I studied for the City and Guilds. I live in Argyll, and I'm 3 minutes away from the beach, and I visit the beach every day regardless of the weather. Even though the dog doesn't like the rain, he gets dragged down to the beach in the rain, and my beach is like a treasure trove, and I do a lot of sketching. There's a piece over there that I sketched really on the machine, and it informed the main piece that's hanging here, and very much informed by my landscape and what I see every day. If there's a rusty object like lodged into a rock, the rock actually turns that rusty colour, and so that's my colour palette. And over the years my colour palette has definitely changed, because when I first started quilting, like everybody else, you're using all these lovely bright fabrics, but it's not for me anymore.
What sorts of techniques do you use in your work? Because some people would call it a mixed media because of paper and cloth.
Yes.
How would you describe your work?
Well, probably yes, mixed media, and I do use, I love to use maps. I think maps give us a sense of place, and I think it draws people in to look a bit closer at your work and see where the maps are. I do a lot of machine quilting and have done a bit more of that recently, but I love hand stitching. I just love that gentle approach, and it slows you down with your work, and I think it gives you a sense of what you're doing and where you're going, whereas the machine quilting, I'm trying to slow down with that as well. But so it's a combination of things. My work that's hanging here, there's maps, and I suppose in that sense it's a little bit of mixed media, but not as much as I had last year. But I'll definitely be moving forward with more mixed media.
Are there certain techniques or elements in your work that you like to continue through your work? Different, like your dyeing or things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I will definitely be doing more rust dyeing, and the great thing with rust dyeing is you can get such various colours out of it. What I've got hanging here is mostly just using sea and rusty objects, and it gives you that lovely rusty colour. But equally, I had to get some binding for a piece up there, and I used Earl Grey tea and rusty objects, and you get this lovely dark grey and all the variants of the greys that you get. So I'll definitely be doing more of that. I've got woods right next door to me, lots surrounded by trees and woods, so definitely be doing more eco dyeing in an eco-friendly way, trying not to use chemicals in that. I don't ever do rust dyeing with vinegar or anything like that. I just use what's around me. And I like that happy surprise when you take it out of the vat, or you take your rust dyeing out, and sometimes you've got to put it back in and go over it again. But I think just slowing everything down.
What sort of materials do you use in your work?
I like to use vintage tablecloths, sheets, doilies, I think just giving them a new life.
In addition to your rust-dyed cloth, do you add any other accents of colour?
Well, I love using red thread, and I think I'm again moving away from using lots of different colours, but it is lovely to just bring a little accent, and just now I'm using red, and that comes from my use of maps and the A-roads, and how the A-roads really just sort of shine out at you on the maps. So that's where my use of red thread, and it took me a while to find the right red, but I found it.
Do you work from sketchbooks or journals?
I do, yes. I love my sketchbooks, and have just set myself a challenge. Through September, I'm going to go down the beach and do lots of sketching. I think that sketchbooks are so important to inform your work, and the work that I've got here today is very much pulled from the sketchbooks that I did for my City and Guilds, because I did so many. I felt that just going back and seeing what I had done was just so useful. And it really, I think it just builds your artistic side and brings that into your stitching, and informs your final design. It's been great being at the Festival of Quilts 2 years in a row displaying work. It's been lovely, and I've had lovely feedback, and it just makes you want to go and do more. So I'm looking forward to just getting back into my studio.
Thank you very much, Lesley, for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.